Hello students, today we are going to study the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers from our book Flamingo. Aunt Jennifer's Tigers is a poem by Adrienne Rich illustrating her feminist concerns. In the male-dominant world, a woman of her time was only supposed to be a dutiful homemaker. This poem through the world of Aunt Jennifer tell us about her inner desire to free herself from the clutches of abusive marriage and patriarchal society. Now look at the poem. Aunt Jennifer's tiger prance across the screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the man beneath the tree. They pace in sleek chivalric certainty. Here the poet is talking about a lady whom she addresses as Aunt Jennifer. She is embroidering a piece of cloth. It could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging. The pattern shows tigers who are moving and jumping around all over the fabric. They are bright yellow in color, like the color of topaz stone. The dense green forest background is their home. They are the citizens of the green world. They are the proud and fearless citizens of the forest. Means they are not feared of men or anything else. Here is a contrast between Aunt Jennifer and her tigers. The tigers are fearless, but this lady who is embroidering them is not so. The tiger look elegant, shining, and full of gentleman's grace. Chivalric stands for the army dressed up. When an army person gets dressed up, it stands for chivalric, and they have a high level of confidence in them, and that confidence is also shown in the tiger. Now the poet is describing a lady whom she addressed as Aunt Jennifer. She says that Aunt Jennifer is doing embroidery on a piece of cloth, which could be a tablecloth or a wall hanging. She has designed it with beautiful tigers which are running fearlessly in the green forest. She has described their beauty by comparing them with a precious yellow stone known as topaz. She says that they appear bright yellow in the green backdrop of the forest. They are fearless and they are not affected by the presence of men. Here we can sense the contrast of behavior between the tigers and the aunt. Though the tigers designed by her are fearless, but she herself is afraid of her husband. Further, the poet says that the tigers are proud and fearless citizens of the forest. They are very shiny and elegant. Now look at some literary devices. First one, they do not and they pace in. The starting of the two lines is same, they. So here it is anaphora. And another one, bright topaz. This is an employed simile and it is called metaphor. Now the second stanza. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. The lady's fingers are trembling with the fear of her husband. She is pursuing her hobby in her free time, but probably she is still afraid of her husband who could scold her. Her fingers are so tired of working endlessly all her life. The needle is also heavy for her to pull out of the cloth. The words uncle's wedding band, as the band was bought by her husband, it is his till today. The lady is dependent on her husband. She is still burdened by the weight of the ring. Weight means the encirclement or trapping that has fallen upon her by getting married to him. She has been burdened by the obligations of married life, has become the man's property. She has been living a demanding life due to which she has worn out in her old age. Here the poet describes the fear of Aunt Jennifer's towards her husband. She says that while she is doing embroidery, her fingers are quivering, shaking with fear of her husband. Her husband doesn't approve of her hobby of embroidery. Therefore, she trembles while she is embroidering the piece of cloth. It has become difficult for her to pull her needle up and down. Then she describes the wedding ring which was given by uncle to Aunt Jennifer on their wedding day. She says that it is a kind of burden for her to wear this ring. She has been tortured by her husband so much that the wedding ring, which could have been a beautiful gift for her, seems like a burden to her. She has faced so many difficulties in her married life that the little ring is described as a heavy band on her trembling fingers. This means that the ring is associated with some bad experiences in the form of torture she has faced because of her husband's dominating behavior. Now, the literary device in this stanza, fingers fluttering, FF, the initial sound is same. So, here it is alliteration. Now the third stanza, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie still, ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tiger in the panel that she made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. Her wish to live a free, fearless life is indicated by her choice of design, tiger. It shows her innermost desire of being strong, fearless, which has been overpowered by her husband. Probably her ordeals will end upon her death. Her frightened, shaking fingers will be put to rest, but still, even after death, the ring shall remain on her hand. That is, her husband's rule over her is not yet over. After her death, her desire of freedom and fearlessness shall remain alive in these tigers which she has embroidered. The poet says that one can easily sense Aunt's desire for freedom and fearlessness through her design of tigers. Further, she says that it is not possible for Aunt to achieve this freedom during her lifetime. She will attain it only after her death. But here also the irony of her life is that still she will be tied up with shackles in the form of her husband's wedding rings. The ring was the sole proof of the tortures which she had faced from her husband. On the other hand, they are the tigers designed by Aunt Jennifer's, which will always depict her desire of living a fearless life by jumping proudly and bravely on the piece of a cloth. Generally लोग जो उनकी इच्छा होती है करने की, उस तरह का वो हॉबी पाल के रखते हैं, या जनरली जो चीज़ें उन्हें नहीं करने दिया जाता है और वो करना चाहते हैं तो वो अपने हॉबीज़ के फॉर्म में उसको पूरा करते हैं। सो हेयर आंट जेनिफर भी कुछ उनको फ्रीडम चाहिए था, फियरलेसनेस चाहिए था, इसलिए वो टाइगर्स का पिक्चर एम्ब्रॉयडरी बनाती हैं, क्योंकि वो उनकी सोल डिजायर होती है। Now the literary device, prancing proud, so the initial sound is P and it is alliteration. So here we come to the end of this poem. Thank you.